Whoa, back-to-back moves on back-to-back days. The Sixers have signed Anfernee Simons. This is really foolish because I do not have the contract in front of me, but I believe it is a 2 years, $12.3 million deal. Uh, so Sixers signed Anfernee Simons. For those who don't know, Anfernee Simons was a first round pick a couple of years ago by the Portland Trail Blazers. He is 26, going to be 27 during this season. Basketball Reference is not showing his birthday since I guess it's not nearby. Most recently, he played for the Celtics and the Chicago Bulls, which is why I took a bigger screenshot of the per game stats and the advanced stats just so we can look them over together. And you can see how he fared on both teams. So the couple of things I do like about this is even more guard depth, which I like. Tyrese Maxey does not need to be playing 40 plus minutes a game. And in terms of backup scoring, this is about as good as you're going to get. I was looking at some other guys yesterday or a couple days ago who were available free agents who could be good guards for the Sixers. The one that I landed on that seemed realistic and that I thought would be an alright fit was trying to find him here. Because now I'm blanking on his name, which is crazy. Jordan Clarkson. There he is. It was Jordan Clarkson. I have a New York fan who was not a big fan of Jordan Clarkson, but I think in terms of certainly a regular season off the bench scorer and sort of guy who will bring energy out of nowhere, that is very helpful from Jordan Clarkson. But now we have Anfernee Simons, who I'd argue is better. So last season, his combined averages were 14.3 points, 2.5 rebounds, 2.4 assists, about 1.85 1.6 or 1.7 turnovers per game. Is shooting 44 from the field, 38.5 from 3, 89.6 from the free throw line. And certainly last couple of years in particular, sort of below average free throw shooter has gotten a lot better and has been above average even on a good amount of takes. So off the bench score, good. I like, he's 6'3", so about average height guard, I guess. I don't know what constitutes for taller guard anymore. He does generally, at least to me, feel taller than 6'3", but certainly a good off the bench scorer for the Sixers. Some of the downsides of him were that his role next to Jaylen Brown was a bit up and down. Both of those guys are isolation scorers, so it will be tough to say how that'll work. I will mention that he was shooting 39.5% from 3 on 6.7 3-point attempts next to Jaylen Brown, and then 32% next to whoever is in Chicago. So it does seem like next to stars, he can shoot pretty well. Unfortunately, I double checked on NBA.com and other platforms, could not find his catch and shoot splits in particular. If I do, hopefully I will update you guys. So looking now at his advanced metrics, you can sort of see what he's made for. So I would certainly look at the Celtics more than the Chicago one, but of course on Basketball Reference there is a combined two teams one, and you can see with the combined one a 1.2 offensive box plus minus. So he's certainly valuable in terms of he will score. However, a negative 1.3 defensive box plus minus, which is something that we are just going to have to deal with. So not a good defender. Not a particularly strong rebounder, not a particularly strong playmaker, really just a scorer. and that makes me nervous for his role. So he is going to be coming off the bench with uh, LeBaron Fillon Jr., which is, I believe, how you say his name. I will certainly switch it up when I hear it in a game for the first time. So he's a first round pick for the Sixers, a point guard, 6'4". So he's going to now have to carry even more the playmaking responsibilities, which is already tough for a first year guard. We're seeing that with Scoot Henderson pretty clearly, where Scoot Henderson started off really rough, and then has now grown into a scorer, because you have to get your body right, and then with the body adjustments you have to figure out your shot, your passing power, all different types of stuff. um so that is going to be interesting. I do say on the bright side for LeBaron, he does have a lot of guys who are going to be pretty easy play finishers. Jaylen Brown, Anfernee Simons are both good athletes. VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey a couple of times, Dominic Barlow, uh, Ariel Hukporti, Adem Bona, Dean Wade, Justin Edwards. Like, he will have guys who he could throw in like an easy lob to, if he sees it. So, however, at the same time, if Anfernee Simons is going to be a bad defender, that also puts more pressure on Filon to be a good defender, and I don't know how that's going to go for his first year in the NBA. Obviously, VJ Edgecombe, good defender right off the jump. Same thing with Matisse Thybulle. Same thing with Jaylen Brown, even. But having those sort of expectations on a rookie feels a little unfair, and so again, that is going to be something we're going to look at. So the depth chart now, as of both of these moves happening, and I'm showing the depth chart from NBA.com or ESPN, excuse me. However, I'm going to shift over a couple guys. If they're starting or if their name is already there, I'm not going to include them twice, right? Like, Anfernee Simons is not the backup point guard and the backup shooting guard if you run a 10-man rotation, and I'm going to assume a 10-man rotation. So Tyrese Maxey, point guard, VJ shooting guard, Jaylen Brown, small forward, Dean Wade, power forward, Joel Embiid, center. I would put Filon Jr. at point guard, Anfernee Simons at shooting guard, Justin Edwards, backup small forward, Dominic Barlow, and I think I wouldn't be shocked if Ariel Hukporti surpasses Bona, because they have pretty similar skill sets, but Porty is taller, which makes it easier for stuff like rebounding and rim protection and other things like that. So that would be really the fight sort of for minutes you're going to see. But that is the current depth chart for the Sixers. And I have to say, compared to other years, I do feel like we have better depth. Not just depth for the sake of it, but certainly better depth than before. Still would like a more mobile forward that can shoot. Realistically, someone sort of Aaron Gordon like, even though those guys are pretty rare, but hopefully Barlow can improve. But that is going to be it for me on Anfernee Simons. One thing I'm considering looking at is Brad Stevens' history with his transactions, just because it feels like he almost is having an opposite type of career as Howie Roseman for the Eagles. And so I'm just thinking about looking at that, but that will come at another time. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want, and I will catch you whenever the next biggest news comes out. Talk to you soon.